Hey guys, it's Daniel. Welcome back.
This is one of Nirvana's least known songs, and it also happens to be one of the longest the band ever recorded, officially listed at 7 minutes and 34 seconds long. In January of 1993, the band was on tour in Brazil. The following month, in February of 93, specifically from February 12th to 26th, Nirvana would be in studio with producer Steve Albini in order to record in Utero. Partly in preparation for the upcoming sessions with Albini, the band recorded a handful of demos in January when they were in Brazil. Steve Albini was sent the Brazil demos and immediately liked them. He once told the following to journalist Jillian G. Gar, quote, "I preferred the Brazil demos immediately to the stuff I had heard on Nevermind. The Nevermind album seemed very confined in its parameters. Each song had a beginning, middle, and an end, and it was all presented in a way which allowed you to hear each chunk. This new material, some of it was kind of sprawling and aimless, and I liked that. But there were still moments that were really powerful and dynamic. It just seemed like they had made a conceptual break in how they wanted to be and how they wanted to behave as a band, and what they wanted their music to sound like." End quote. The recording session took place from January 19th to 12th at BMG's studio in Rio de Janeiro. The producer for the session was longtime Nirvana engineer Craig Montgomery. According to Craig, gallons of rubbing alcohol was made up on the spot in the studio, for the most part. He once told the following to Jillian G. Gar, quote, "This is just improv, trying to come up with something. I think he had a vague idea in his head. You could see that it could have been developed into something eventually. But this is just melodic ideas without even words or syllables. Chris can't even follow him because Kurt doesn't know where he's going, and Dave was just trying to feel along with him. Part of the sessions were set aside for unstructured jamming, so at those times I wasn't going to necessarily run 24-track tape. I would just run DAT. But if I thought they were doing something good, I would start the multi-track. So that may have been what happened here." End quote. Interestingly, the song was originally titled "I'll Take You Down to the Pavement," a reference to the altercation that took place between Kurt Cobain and Axl Rose at the MTV Video Music Awards in 1992. It's not clear why the song was later retitled "Gallons of Rubbing Alcohol Flow Through the Strip." Now, Gallons of Alcohol is basically the endless Nameless of In Utero. What I mean by that is, Gallons of Rubbing Alcohol appears as a hidden track at the end of In Utero, the same way Endless Nameless does on Nevermind. However, North American pressings of In Utero did not include Gallons of Rubbing Alcohol as a hidden track. International pressings did. As mentioned, the song essentially is an improvised piece the band recorded while they were in Brazil. According to Chris Novoselic, there were many such occasions when the band would improvise material together. Quote, "We should have recorded every rehearsal, because sometimes we'd rehearse and go through the songs and be really working. We'd play all our songs twice, sometimes we work on new songs, and sometimes we just go in there and play. Freeform. And there's only a few examples of that." End quote. Though Gallons of Rubbing Alcohol is an improvised song, some people believe the song is in fact about Kurt Cobain's heroin addiction. The opening lines of the song seem to be an allusion to a needle. Quote, "It hurts when you have to press that dull little thing that you're only supposed to use once and then discard. But where do you put it? In the garbage can, my honest friend? My shyness, pet her flow." End quote. Apparently, pet her flow may be slang for rubbing your arm after shooting up. I can't confirm if that's 100% accurate, but it's been suggested that's what it means. In any case, reflecting on the session, producer Craig Montgomery told the following to Jillian G. Gar, quote, "I remember being happy with the sessions sonically, as far as the instruments that we got on tape. As far as the band, I think that they accomplished all that they set out to do. They didn't even use all the time that they had in Brazil. We had time left over. They just wanted to throw down their ideas to give them to Steve Albini before the In Utero sessions. We didn't redo any vocals. Kurt, he wanted to get out of there. He was the first to leave all week. The sounds are also more direct. Albini is really into recording rooms and recording things from across the room and hearing how it bounces off the walls. Sometimes you get so busy recording rooms that it doesn't sound very musical to me. I'm more into hearing a song than a room, and you can quote me on that. There was also a really big cabinet of great microphones, and I took advantage of that. I had really nice mics on everything, and we spent some time on the guitar sounds. Beside the microphone on the amp, I also took a direct feed, which is why you have that really direct and dirty sound. Kurt was into that too. He wanted that direct on-the-board distortion kind of sound. And by this time, I had done a few more records for other people, so I knew what I was doing more. The recording session was at BMG's fancy studio in Rio de Janeiro, but this was their B room. It was actually much cooler than their A room, because the B room had an old Neve board and a great old stutter tape deck. It was a really nice room. But the stuff was old, and it took a while to figure out how to get the headphone mixes to work. So that was a little bit frustrating. You don't keep the world's biggest rock band waiting while you try to get the headphones working. You have that stuff working before they get there. But once we got it all working, it was a nice recording environment.